Okay, so what we have here today is the Ibanez AZES31. It is an Ibanez Essentials guitar, and it is a Strat style guitar on a budget. This was mainly geared toward beginner and intermediates, but I have to say this is an outstanding guitar, especially for $300. I think out the door it was like $329. And also, this was one of the best guitars that came out of the box. I did have to do some tweaking to it, but it really wasn't much. In this video, we're going to put it on the bench and see how it's built, do a little bit of a sound check with it, and have some fun and do a little playing. If this is something you're into, you like these types of videos, please give it a like, subscribe, or follow. I'd love to have you here. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I will answer as soon as I possibly can. And yeah. It was double boxed, shipped. So I just took that other box off to save a little time. Take the top off of this box here, and it was well packed. It came with a little warranty card for you to check out. Also, it has the wrenches in that little side pocket there. It comes with all the wrenches you need to do the adjustments, and a pretty in-depth instruction manual. It's pretty thick, and it's not just because of different countries in there. There's some good information in there. And then obviously the same padded bag that most of these guitars come in, and it was fine. There was no issue there. The little foam thing is a nice touch to protect that toggle switch there. And then inspection tag, which looks really similar to the Fender one. This is an Indonesian made guitar too. So now the neck looked great. It has a satin poly on that too, but it was nice and smooth. Felt really good. The fretboard is good, a Jatoba I think it's called, and it looked really nice actually. So it looked pretty great, and it was packed well. So yeah. Now I wanted to go over this booklet a little bit with you too, because it's pretty in-depth. I was really surprised at all the information that they give you in here. They give you the string replacement, how to tune the guitar, the string height, and the string neck adjustment. They also tell you about the intonation and cleaning and stuff. So the instruction book really walks you through a lot of that stuff. So even if you're not familiar with setting up your guitar, there's some info there that you can read that will get you familiar with things, which I thought was pretty cool, you know. So this guitar has some interesting tech on it a little bit here. It has something called the Dynamix 8 switching system with alter switch, which offers 8 different sound variations that can go between a humbucker and single coil with the flick of the mini switch. It also has a little longer E string to help people that do a lot of drop tuning and stuff like that. So this is one thing I love about this trade, is that companies are always innovating and we're always learning. So, all right, let's get to this guitar and see where we're at. So we'll start up at the headstock and we'll work our way down. This has your typical non-locking sealed tuners with a split shaft, so it sort of gives it that little bit of vintage vibe to it. They are nice and tight. Everything was really well as far as the guitar stays in tune. You don't feel any slippage. Nothing's really loose. They are good, budget tuners. Also, it has a gloss finish on the top of the headstock with the Ibanez logo and 2 string trees. Here is the nut, and it was cut well. There was no issues there. The fretwork was great. I had to go ahead and double check make sure all the frets were level, and everything was perfect there. So we didn't have any issues with that. They did need a little bit of polishing, but that was just my own personal thing. I could have gone with or without it. So the fret ends, there was no spurs or anything like that. Everything was nice and smooth.
The Jatoba fretboard was nice. This is my first time with a guitar with that material, and it looked great. As you can see here, they just need a little bit of polishing, but nothing major. Now, after I treated the fretboard and did a little polish on the frets, this is what it looked like after all that's done. So let's talk about some of the measurements for this guitar. We'll start with the nut width. And I got 42.25 millimeters. And then we'll go with the width at the 12th fret, 52.26 millimeters. And then let's do the depth of the neck at the 1st fret, 20.77 millimeters. And then the depth of the neck at the 12th fret, 23.68 millimeters. It had a 10-inch radius at the 1st fret and a 10-inch radius at the 12th fret, which is exactly what they say it is. Here is the neck profile. It looks like a C, like a deep C. That's your typical average neck type. It's not super thin. It's not super thick. You will probably not have as much fatigue, because sometimes with the thinner necks, your hand might get a little fatigued. So it's a great starter neck profile. It's a great profile to play. You could play this thing all day long and not have any issues. Now, this is the back of the neck. It's nice and smooth. There's no issues with any of that. It's a very comfortable neck to play. So the neck pocket was nice and tight. It's easy access to the higher frets. All that is great. Now let's get this pick guard off and take a look at the pickups and the electronics and stuff. So we have the shielding paint, which was okay. I mean, it's a typical budget guitar. So you see there's mist spots on the sides and all that, but they only put the shielding on the electronics part of the pickguard too. So that'll have to be done, but that's like with all of these guitars, you have to do that. So that's no big deal. It didn't seem noisy though or anything like that. Here are the ceramic pickups with that Dynamix 8 system, switching system thingy in there. And yeah, the pickups sound great. I mean, especially for a budget guitar. They really do. And I do a whole demo on what the pickups sound like too. So we'll do that a little bit later. Here is your typical budget guitar wiring harness. You know, it has the PC board, switch, and the mini pots, and this is just your normal typical budget guitar wiring harness. So that's totally fine. It was tucked away nice. It was done well, and yeah, I mean, it is exactly what I was expecting to be behind this pickguard. So here is the resistance for the pickups, in case you're interested in that. Bridge pickup is 6.64K. The second position, 3.34K. The third position, 6.63K. And the fourth position, 3.33K. And the fifth position, 6.5K. Here is the output jack. It is a one-piece unit. Let's take a look at this bridge here. The bridge is great. You can adjust the action and intonation. It has separate saddles for all that. The ground wire was perfectly fine. All that was great, man. This guitar is well put together. I gotta tell you, it really, really is. Here is the poly finish. That was fine. There was no issues there whatsoever. This is like a metallic blue type of finish here, which, it looks really nice. And I think it's a poplar body. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of a close-up of what the finish looks like. And then let's flip it over and take a look at the other side here. And there we go. And you can see the E string, the low E string is a little bit longer than the other strings, and that's to compensate for the drop tuning or alternate tuning. So the setup was fine. You can see the nut was cut just fine. I had to put a little bit of relief in the neck, but this is all just to get it to where I like the guitar to play. When it came out of the box, it actually played pretty great. So I had to do a little bit of adjusting there. I just had to adjust the pickup height a little bit too. So yeah, let's get this thing plugged in and take a listen to it and see what kind of cool sounds we can get out of it. Let's run through some of these sounds and see what we can do here. So we'll start with the neck pickup. So here's the neck pickup. And that is on the single coil mode. And let's jump it up to the humbucker thing. Go back to the single coil thing. So you can definitely hear there's quite a big difference between the two modes. Let's run to the neck and the middle pickup. And see, you hear it's got that strat chime to it, or that. So you see here, it's got that strat quack to it too. And then here's the switch flipped up. See, I don't hear much difference on in the fourth position here, but that's fine. It's big on the other ones. Okay, let's run through to the middle pickup. So this is just by the middle pickup by itself. So here it is with the switch flipped up. And then we'll flip the switch back down. Yeah, it's really cool. It sounds great though. Usually on these budget guitars, the pickups will be a little too bright and a little too trebly. And a lot of times will have scoop mids in there, so they sound really deep and bassy and really bright, but it feels like it's missing something in the middle. And these pickups, I don't feel that. They feel very well balanced. Now, I mean, they're a budget pickup, right? So they're not going to be as responsive to dynamics and certain things like that just because of the price point of them. But these things are really, really good. And then let's go to the middle and the bridge pickup and see what we got here. And you can hear that strat quack big time. It sounds cool. And here it is with the switch flipped up. And then switch flip back down so you can just get a really good idea of what it sounds like. Here is the bridge pickup. And then we're going to flip back up to the humbucker mode, I would say. Now that one, I think, is the biggest difference. And you know, a lot of guys will pick a Strat style guitar with a humbucker in the bridge, and just to give it a little fatter sound. And so this is simulating that, I think. And yeah, that one switch, I feel like, is the biggest difference between the bridge and the humbucker on this guitar. And we'll go back to the single coil. Now, I'm more of a fan of a traditional Strat style, which would just be the 5-position switch, and even a master volume and master tone is perfectly fine. I do find this technology very interesting, and it gives you a variety of sounds to choose from a very, very, very affordable guitar. So here you can hear on the neck pickup too. It's a big difference. You know, it really is. I really like that. I really like that neck pickup sound, though. It sounds really, really good. So let's put on a little bit of dirt and see what we can get out of that. Then here is the tumness. Yeah, that sounds really good. It sounds really good for a $300 guitar, man. This thing is killer. And so that is with the switch flip back to the humbucker side. You can hear all the notes are real clear. You can hear everything in that too. Also, it is pretty dynamic there for these types of this type of guitar. The pickups are pretty dynamic too, so you can hear. So you know, it is dynamic, but it's a little harder to do it with these. It's just because it's a budget guitar, but that doesn't take anything away from this guitar, because you can do all kinds of stuff with these things. So let's run through the neck and the middle. So yeah, here's the middle pickup. We'll flip the switch. That's where the switch flipped up. Here it is flipped back down. Man, it sounds good. Sounds really good. I tend to like the middle pickup a lot on these strats, because I don't know what it is about it, but it's just a real nice. It's nice and even tone, even keeled throughout the whole thing. So here are the bridge and the middle pickup. Got that quacky quack quack. Now we'll do with the humbucker thing. So I don't hear it as much on the second position and the fourth position. I don't hear it near as much, but I really hear it a lot in the bridge position and the neck position. So that is definitely something that, you know, if you're looking for more sounds than just a single coil Strat style guitar, you can definitely get it with this. But like I said, I just like a simple 3-coil Strat style guitar with a 5-position switch, and a master volume and master tone would be just fine. So let's do a little bit with the bridge too here. Yeah, man. I mean, it feels great too. Now we'll flip the switch down for the single coil. So there you go. Sounds great, don't it? I would say that this guitar is a real value for the money. For $329, you get something that's stable, it plays good, it feels good, and it's just an outstanding budget guitar. So all that being said, I want to thank you very much for coming out, and we will talk to you on the next one. Thank you.